This man was grabbing me, touching me in places, printing kisses on places that I never knew a human being could kiss. After this experience, a classmate of mine connected me to Lord. This is difficult for me. My heart is racing.
There is nothing to achieve in this conversation. Feel free to share only what is comfortable for you to share. Don't be pressured to share anything. Only share what you're comfortable sharing. We can talk offline after this. I want you to be comfortable. Take a deep breath. You have every right to feel everything you feel. You're a human being. You have been strong for so long. So it happens like that.
All right. My healing process took different turns. It was the most terrible moment for me. Okay, let me start from when I broke the news to my household. I think I sent the mail to some of my siblings, and there was tension in the house. They were calling me on phone. I had series of phone calls. I had to answer questions that I don't even know what to say, but I just have to say something. I had ways like, you are a wasted investment. You
Goodness.
just lavish things. You are good for nothing. You are. It wasn't. It wasn't a beautiful experience.
Your own family members said these words to you.
Yes.
So you were trying to make sense of what was happening both on the outside and in the inside of your body, in your psychic. You were trying to understand the loss. You were grieving from not knowing what you did wrong, from receiving this letter from the shock. You turned back home and you were hearing these words from your own family members.
Yes. These and more that I might not be able to say. I was terribly tormented. I was made jest of. So many things came. So many things came on. I lost everything. Confidence. I lost everything. Confidence. Nothing. Like nothing was left. People would talk about me. People would, discuss me even while I am there, even while I was
Mm.
there. Like something that's supposed to be a gossip, like in the other, people will be there discussing it, and then you would hear it like you have nothing to do. Like, I think the only human being that really showed me how to fight was um, a seminarian, Mr. Anthony Nonsodim. He was a friend on Facebook, and Anthony will call almost all the time. Anthony told me things, gave me words of encouragement, held me, though he wasn't there physically, but I could feel him holding me and giving me words of encouragement. When the people I most expected to at least understand with me were tearing me apart. Then one of my classmates connected me to a certain priest who resides in the States.
Okay.
So he told me that he could help me at least maybe because I was like, even if I'm going back to the seminary, I don't want Nigerian style no more. I want to go outside the
Mm-hmm.
country to
Mm-hmm.
where I think it is better. So
Mm-hmm.
this guy connected me to this priest. I spoke with him on phone. He came back to Nigeria. He called me to come and see him.
Mm.
And that day, I went to see him. I was actually in the church when he called. We were rehearsing in the choir for a certain program. Then he told me where I was coming to meet him. I went there, I met him, and from there, it was a long walk. He just came back to the country, so he was going around visiting people. So when we went to a certain place, I could remember they offered him a wine, red wine.
Mm.
I don't take alcohol. And in my naivety, I didn't know that there were red wines that were alcoholic.
Mm.
This man made me drink that. I was drinking, he was making me to drink more. He was telling me things like he was inducing me quite all right.
Mm-hmm.
And I was drinking. I felt pressed. When I stood up to go and pee, I was feeling dizzy.
Mm.
I've not been intoxicated once, so I don't know what was happening to me then. So we after that event, because he said I will follow him to the house actually, so that he would have time for us to discuss on the way forward. Lord, we drove to his house. He told me earlier that I have to get to his house so that at least we will sit down and discuss on the way forward. So
Mm.
he's a priest, right?
Yeah.
So I was free. I was so free with him. So we got to the house. We had people were there. Many people were there. I think I could count about 8 guys or more
Mm.
who were there. Village people. He was like a celebrity in the village.
Mm.
People, as it is now. Fado Bodo came back. People would hang
Yes.
around.
Yeah.
Even when he had time, I went to him. Can we talk now? He said that I am going to be the last person he will speak with.
Mm.
I kept on waiting. I kept for something important to me, right? So I had to be patient. And this started going till 12 p.m.,
Mm.
12 a.m.,
Mm.
1 a.m. I was already tired when, people left. And
Yeah.
the boys I saw there, they had a room there that all of them went and, you know, slept. Okay, I was waiting. Then he called me. He said, okay, that I should come, that he has my time now. We spoke. Yes, why I came, what I came for, we discussed. Then he promised that he would help me do something, right? Then I said, okay, let me go out and find where to rest my head. He said, no, 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 that I should stay here, like on the bed. He said, I should stay
Mm-hmm.
here. I felt somehow. He said, I should sit here, let us have other discussions. We kept on talking and talking. He would sleep off and wake up and was like, where did we stop? We continued talking. Then he told me that I should pass the night in the room. I wasn't comfortable. Before you know what is happening, this man is all over me. This man was all over me. He grabbed me, held me terribly, started telling me things that I couldn't process. Told me how he had loved me, told me how I cannot explain what happened to me in words that night.
Mm.
Before I could know what was going on, I felt hands going places that only me had access to. My brain, the adrenaline, everything was excess. Now, this man was grabbing me, touching me in places, printing kisses on places that I never knew a human being could kiss.
Mm.
I was torn in between two words. I pleaded with this man. I was like, please, I have not done this before now. And even if I want to have sex, I don't think, I told him, please, I, I would prefer to have my first experience with a woman, not a
Mm.
man. And secondly, you are a priest.
Mm.
Even if it turns out that this is what I want to do with my life, I cannot do it with someone like you.
Mm.
It was like, halfway far, leave that thing, this one and this. We kept on saying things. I kept on pleading. I kept on pleading. And I didn't want to shout.
Yeah.
I didn't want to shout because in my brain, I was like, the people in that room, those boys, I know that they were in that room. These could be his partners that
Mm.
when I shout, these ones could come in, kill me, and bury me behind the house there, and nobody will even know what happened because
Mhm.
that house was secluded. It was close to bush and
Mhm.
all that.
Mhm.
I could remember that night saying many prayers. I told God that night, whatever happens today, if it is this sex, I will not have sex with this man. If he ends up killing me, please, even all the sins I might have committed, let this single act of refusal bring redemption to my soul.
Mm.
This story I'm telling, you might see smile on my face, but after this story, I know I'm going to be depressed for days or weeks because I don't tell this story
Mm.
anyhow. Then God helped me. It seemed as if God sent his angel and he became angry and was like, you can't give me this little thing I'm asking you. Just get out, something like that.
Mm.
And the episode ended. In the morning, before day could break, I had gone to my house.
Mm.
No, that was second experience. The first experience, this one I'm talking about now, was on a Saturday. On Sunday morning, like this was the person that was going to celebrate mass in the morning, the chief celebrant.
Mm. The same
So in the
priest.
morning, yes, in the morning after mass, my heels were on my head. I was running home. I ran home. When I knew the weight, or when I felt the weight of what happened to me that night, was like, I think the second day, everything in my body started changing. He touched my nipple.
Mm.
I never knew the nipple was a channel of sexual interact where you can have a sexual feelings until
Mm.
that day. So after that experience, like a day after, where I wear a clothes, the sensation on my nipple alone was terrible. I don't, so many things started happening to me. I would have, you know, it was like the sexual hormones, everything just came, it was like, it was exploding. And mind you, I was almost 28 then, but
Mm.
I hadn't experienced sexual activities. So it was like all the reserved hormones and everything were like somebody called on us and we are here to and we are here to
To honor the invitation. They have
respond
been,
or to
yes.
yes. Depression came. I was praying, oh God, this is my promise. This was my promise to myself. It wasn't a promise to God. The promise I made to myself was that I was going to be a virgin priest.
Mm.
That I'm going to be a priest that have that didn't have sex or that will not have sex. And up until that day, nothing happened. Then when I came out, because I was still having the zeal to go to the seminary, I was praying to God, may this not consume me. May I not fall. Because I have seen people who were molested. I have encountered people who were sexually molested, and most times two things happen to them. Is either they become sex addicts or they become disinterested with sexual activities.
Mm.
And I didn't want any of this to happen to me. I wanted to be normal, that I can either
Mm.
refuse myself this or gratify it. I didn't want to be in a default situation where I am no longer psychologically normal.
Yeah.
When all these things were happening to me, my family were saying things to me. I was feeling so. Even when this happened to me, with the way my family were talking to me, I couldn't confide in anybody. I
Mm.
was suffering alone. A suicidal thought came. It was terrible. It was just terrible. It was just terrible. So the combination of the letter coming and looking for a way out of it and falling into this one, that was what clashed and led me to start thinking of what is it that I'm doing here? This could end in a better way. But God showed
Charles,
up.
Charles,
God really showed up. Yes.
before we get to where God showed up, I'm hearing you say, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that this was terrible. This was terrible. Somebody has turned on the
Definitely.
floodlights of your sensuality in ways that you never expected or imagined, and some things were happening to your body emotionally and sensually, and your family was tearing you apart, and this letter was still rending asunder to the fibers of your being. This is terrible. What were the
It's
what did that how did that make you feel? Can you talk about that?
I don't think there is any expression in my dictionary that could explain what went on in my brain, in my heart. Okay, In my heart, I think what I don't know, but in my heart, I began having this heartache that, you know how you feel when you have headache?
Mm-hmm.
That was how my heart was feeling. Like I could hear I couldn't stand straight. I had to like sometimes bend over and had to hold or lie down or lay down. I was scared. I was always
Mm.
scared. I was always scared, and then I don't think there is a word to describe it. It is better felt than discussed.
Mm. Mm.
I don't know how to explain how it was.
I'm
There
also
and then
noticed
I became anti sorry?
anti what? Sorry, continue.
You said
Please continue. You said there and then you became
I
anti
became
what?
antisocial.
Mm.
Antisocial. That is, I couldn't let someone touch me.
Mm.
I couldn't let someone sit close to me. Even when I go to
Mm-hmm.
church during
Mm-hmm.
Sunday masses, I would rather stand. I would rather stand than sit in a pew where somebody's clothes or somebody would touch me. I
Mm.
hated myself. I felt like skinning myself because my whole body was irritating me.
Mm-hmm.
When I remember when I remember the touching, the printing of the lips on my nipple. Remember, I am brief. I am not huge, but
Mm.
this is it, this person was like times three of me.
Mm.
So I didn't stand any chance.
Yeah.
And my brain told me that shouting was a wrong choice.
Mm.
So I had to plead and
Mm.
cry. Thank God tears was available then. So I cried, I pleaded, and all that. Yes, I could remember him saying also that if I can't, or if I know that I am not going to let him have his way, I should if, maybe help him, even if to jack off or something like that.
Mm.
I still told him I can't, I can't get involved
Mm.
and all that.
So he
And
wanted you to
I
come.
could also remember.
Please
Sorry.
continue. I what I want to say is always in my head. So whenever you're done, I will say it. Please continue.
Okay, so I I could also remember like after all these events, the next time I called him, okay, our discussion about helping me maybe get over to the US or get me a congregation in US where I can come over and start formation and all that. He told me straightforward, nothing for you. You didn't pay the price.
Hmm.
That was it.
Nothing for you,
I
Charles. You did
was
not pay the price.
didn't pay the price. And then
Are you happy you did not pay the price?
at first, what would have been of what would have been as a how would I have I don't know what made me that I was irritating to myself.
Hmm.
People now I had to stop going to for church programs. I had to stop going to church programs I could only go to like Sunday masses, and when I go to Sunday masses, I have to stay in a place that I won't have contact with someone. So tell me how what would have happened if something happened to me beyond what I felt. Don't you think that I could have easily killed myself?
There are lots and lots of
And I'm
things you could have
thankful.
done to
I'm
yourself.
thankful.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I am thankful to myself, and I'm thankful to the grace of God that I didn't pay the price.
Hmm. Hmm.
I could talk about it now and even smile,
Hmm.
but the only person that I could say this to was just one person, Anthony Nonso Dim.
Yeah.
He was fuming. He wanted to write, he wanted to make noise about it, he wanted to do a lot of things. But I think I could remember telling him, or the what I had in my mind was this person in his village, I think he was the only priest there, and he
Hmm.
was a very important person. He was someone that so many people look up to. He's someone that so many young men want to be like.
Hmm.
So in my head, I was like, bringing this up would actually break so many hearts. So it was like me sacrificing myself for people that don't even know that I exist. I sacrificed my fight. I sacrificed my vindication. I sacrificed a lot of things for people that I do not know, that people to people that do not know me and might never know me.
Hmm.
So it wasn't
I
really
want to,
for him that I
yeah.
kept it to myself. It was for him. All
And I hear that and I honor that. I honor,
right.
I honor your choices. I honor what you chose to do. I hear that. And I can only imagine what it would have felt like. May I ask you a question just to step back a little bit? You said that that was the first experience, so
All right.
it sounds like there was another instance of this, and I'm wondering what that one felt like or what the that other experience was.
Sorry. Can you can you
So
repeat that, please?
yeah, I said you said that was the first experience that happened on a Saturday night before he went in to celebrate mass as the chief celebrant on Sunday. So was there a second
Yes.
experience?
There was a second experience that happened like a week later. He apologized. He actually apologized. And he was like, okay, let us now conclude what the discussion and know the way forward. In my fish brain, I don't know if I will call it a fish brain, I volunteered. I made myself available. I went over again for this, hopefully, something that might come out of it. And he struck again.
Hmm.
Yes. He struck again, and it's ended the same way again. And that was when, this time around, I wasn't begging. This time around, I was fighting.
Hmm.
Yes. And I thank God I made it alive for the second time. And actually, when he apologized, I thought he repented. I thought
Hmm.
that wouldn't happen again. But it was like a way of luring me back, which I went back and it's repeated itself. And
mm,
this time around, it was a fight. And then, with what I was going through, I wasn't scared of death.
mm,
With what I was passing through, I was like, whatever comes, let it come. And I went home. Then, yes, I went home. That day, that as I was going to my house, he was going to Lagos to board a flight. So it
yeah.
was just few days after that day that I called. Okay, what's up? How is it going? Waiting we discuss. How is it now? Should I this one? Then he told me that you didn't pay the price.
Mm,
There's nothing for you.
yeah.
So that is it.
And I'm going to make a comment about um because our people in Nigeria are very, very volatile emotionally, very easy to be sensitized, and they could begin to judge you or criticize you for going back after the first experience. But this is not new in psychology. This is what happens even when children, young girls are abused. There are a range of complex reasons that may explain that. There is trauma bonding. There is learned helplessness. There is cognitive dissonance. These are reasons that somebody who has been abused may want to go back to the person who abused them. In your case, I'm hearing that it sounds like more of learned helplessness, that you felt that he was actually remorseful. You felt that like you were still in a state of
Of course.
disarray. You didn't understand what was going on. You were still believing in the inherent goodness of humanity, and you thought that that was something deeply erroneous about him, and that he might be remorseful and he might be changing. You were seeking answers to questions that you could not ask other people. So I'm trying to put it out there that this might be a plausible explanation for your going back. And as I do that, I want you to name for us, if you feel comfortable doing that, what exactly did he promise you? That he would take you to the US, or that what was the promise?
He was his promise was that he would help me get maybe a congregation or yes, get a congregation in the US. That was the plan from the onset. A congregation outside Nigeria in the US that would, maybe I don't know how it would have happened. Maybe sponsor with visa sponsorship, or maybe invite you over to cover and get started with them. Something like that.
Hmm,
Yes.
hmm. Oh my
So
goodness.
sorry, let me say this.
Go
One
ahead.
of the things that convinced me, one of the things that convinced me, one of the things that convinced me that he was repentant was that he was actually crying when he was apologizing. Yes, he was actually crying. He cried and told me that he didn't know what came over him and all that and all that. So you shouldn't really blame me for going back.
I'm not. Hey, hold
You
on.
could see, you
I'm
could
not
imagine a
blaming.
man.
Hey, Charles, I'm not blaming you. I'm
Yes.
speaking because I understand what's going on. I'm not blaming you. I'm putting those words out there for the people that will actually blame you, so that they will learn, so that get some kind of education
Okay.
to the reasons, to the psychological reasons,
Right.
to the backing for what you did. A lot of people will do it for different reasons, like I said, and there are more. can think about trauma bonding, you can think about learned helplessness, you can think about cognitive dissonance. In your case, I think, like I said, it's more of learned helplessness. You noticed or you felt that there was remorse in him. I said that before you confirmed it. So I'm not blaming you. I can never blame you. I
Yes.
can never blame you. Even if you gave in to what he asks for, I can never blame you. You are a young man who has decided to give up your body, to set your life apart for a particular goal. And a lot of priests did not do that. You desire to become a virgin priest. I'm not saying that those who are not virgin priests are not good, but there was that pure desire. There was that
Yeah.
yearning to give yourself for something. So you have every right to feel terrible, and even if you God gave you into that, no, I have no right to judge you. But I'm glad that you did not, that's why I was wondering about the second time. Let's know what happened in the second time. Good thing you still came out free. Um, how are you feeling now as you share
Yeah.
this story?
It's actually, I did everything I could to hold back tears, and
Hmm.
I know I'm going to be tormented for days.
Hmm.
I'm going to be tormented for days. It's going to be easy for me because, okay, that experience gave me the knowledge of what it feels like for people that have experienced rape, experienced any sort of sexual molestation.
Hmm.
It is the, I think apart from leaving the seminary, I think that is the worst thing that has ever happened to me. Like, you can imagine, if you ask me now what was the worst thing that happened to me, somebody touched me.
Hmm.
You don't touch me. I You can't. And
Yeah.
not from nowhere, without my permission, someone was talking to me before I could know what. Hence, we're going to unknown places.
Hmm.
They grabbed the pinning. I was pinned,
Hmm.
and I kept on pleading. I kept on begging. I kept on reminding him of his office. I kept on saying things, and in my silence, I was committing my soul to wherever it is going to, because I was ready to die for this. I was ready to give up my life preserving what I believe in.
Hmm.
I was going to give up my life keeping the promise I made to myself. Because there was never a day I went to the church and said, God, this is between me and you. I'm not. It was me, myself. This was what I wanted for myself.
Yeah.
So it wasn't easy. And each time I remember it, I go into depression. I don't think I would ever heal from that experience.
You said you are going to be tormented for this.
Yes,
What is that going to look like?
yes,
What is going to torment
yes.
you?
What is going to torment me is, for me, to sit down and talk about this,
Mm-hmm.
not in details, because there are
Mm.
things that I would say now that maybe I would have to call names. I might start calling names, and it is not going to be healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it's going to put other people into trouble.
Mm-hmm.
People that are in the line of also becoming priests, and
Mm-hmm.
this might lead to, if I give you detailed information here
Mm-hmm.
online about
Mm-hmm.
how it's about some things, that
Mm.
means names will be called,
Mm.
right? Names will be
Yeah.
called, and that might be bring bad market to some people that might have not really had anything to do with this person, but
Mm-hmm.
because names were called, you know how things progress.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I get what you're saying. Um, oh, I hear you. I think what I'm
But
hearing is
just
that
know that
you are saying that if you call names, those that are his friends, even those that did
yes,
something with him or not, will be labeled as people who do that with him, right?
yes, and that will be, and yes, and that will be terrible.
So what is going to torment you is the fact that you held back. Is that true?
Not that I had.
Okay.
What is going to torment me? My joy. What brings healing to me? What gives me comfort? What gives me relief? Little bit of relief is that I came out victorious. What
Mm.
gave, not just that I came out victorious, that after that incident, I didn't become a wolf,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
Yes, I held on. It was just grace. I can't
Mm.
attribute that to myself. It was
Yeah.
just grace. I thought of so many things. I thought of so many things. Okay, then I didn't have girlfriend because it wasn't in the picture, because
Mm-hmm.
this is what you have prepared yourself for. So there
Mm-hmm.
is no way you could have been cheating
Mm-hmm.
yourself. This is the promise you
Mm-hmm.
made to yourself, and so there was nothing like that in the line. And
Mm-hmm.
you are just like flaming fire. Everything is aggressively, everything is bubbling,
Mm.
and no way of gratification and all that. So all those things, it looked like that bottling then is what keeps on repeating itself. So me feeling depressed and tormented each time I remember it is not because I held back. It is actually because of what happened to my body.
Mm-hmm.
Why I kept on asking, why did it happen?
Mm-hmm.
Why could this happen to me? Questions
Mm-hmm.
that have no answers and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And like each time the pain comes, each just like as it is happening now.
Mm.
I don't know why I keep on smiling and chuckling, but it's not easy for me as I'm sharing this now, and it's not going to be
Mm-hmm.
easy for me in the next couple of days to come, because my body, my brain, all these experiences were stored in my brain, my
Mm.
emotions, everything was played with. It keeps on coming
Mm.
up. It keeps on coming up. I
Okay.
don't have control over it. The
Charles.
joy, the joy that comes with it most times is that nothing happened. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good. You see, this is a recorded video, right? So I'm glad it's not going live right now. Okay? I want you to know that there is
Okay.
nothing to achieve. Like I said before, there is nothing to achieve. After this, and you want me not to post this video, I will not post it. This is our chance to talk. So I want you to be free on that level.
Okay.
If you want this video not to be posted, I will hold it back. I will not post it. Um that said,
It's okay.
I want to
Yes.
also I wonder, um do you feel a pressure within you to protect this person? You feel the need to protect this person, and do you think you need to do that? You have been violated. Your body has been violated.
Yes.
Your mind has been violated.
Terribly.
Your conscience has been violated. And your faith has been violated because of his office, if not because of the kind of formation you have or catechesis you have. Many people like you do not go to church anymore. Um, and as you are asking yourself why, I can tell you that it goes back to that letter you received. That letter you received without closure, without explanation, sent you down a rabbit hole, sent you down a dark tunnel, searching for light, searching for a way out, searching everywhere to see solution, to see how to reconnect to the path that you were so convinced about even when you were 4 years old. That letter was the first violation that you experienced. Violated every ethics of dialogue, violated every ethics of love, violated every principle of humanity. So the why goes back to the letter. And as you continue to search for meaning and for purpose and for light in the darkness, you met with this man who you felt would give you light. Unfortunately, he deepened the darkness and the violation continued, even more intense, in ways that will make you think
Yeah.
about taking your own life. I think this is the why. And it's okay to cry, it's okay to tear up. Man, you are just one in this world. Like it is, you are one body. You are body, mind, and spirit. Something happened to you. Something deeply unfair. Something largely unjust happened to you. From different corners, from different quarters. It's okay to cry here or later. If you feel like crying, it's okay. But I tell you that time and God will take care of you. The fact that you think you will never heal, continue to be open to express these emotions. Continue to be open to share this. One thing I wonder, honestly, is why you think you need to protect this abuser. Might it be that you are feeling the complexity that comes with savior complex? Might it be that you are seeing yourself to be the righteous and good person here? There is nothing good in this experience. There is nothing good here. There is nothing good here. There is nothing to achieve here. So if there's any fiber of you that wants to speak up against this injustice, know that you have every right to do that. And nobody has the right to prescribe to you how to respond to such a violation, to such an abuse. A 28-year-old man in Nigeria of today kept himself a virgin only to be messed with by a priest. Let that sink in.